Guten Tag, wie geht's? Ich heiße Izzy. But it's Izzy here. I look like a little German girl today. This outfit just turned out looking German, but that is besides the point. Today we are going to be doing my TBR video for April. Okay, so I just had to change the battery, so I don't know if anything changed on the camera. But the first book that I'm reading this month, I'm actually going to be finishing it today, but I'm still showing it in the video, and that is Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane. I'm not positive. So this is it was listed as contemporary, but it starts in the early 1970s. This book, I think, is a really deep dive into mental health. I don't know if this is on Voices, but it does have mental health representation. I think for Peter, for anxiety, it's very well represented. For the schizophrenia aspects and just some of the other alcoholism and all that, I don't know how that is portrayed, as that's something that I don't suffer with personally. But this does have that. So just trigger warning, that if that's difficult for you to read about mental health, do not pick this book up, because I think that is the main theme of this book, is the mental health aspects. It's literary fiction, I would say, as you do have to think deeper into what this book is actually about. This book, two families in the New York City area decide to leave the city and move to the suburbs. They live right next door to each other. A tragedy strikes both families, and it's how all these people, all these members of these families had to cope with this tragedy, and if they can come back from it. Next book is The Lost City of Z by David Graham. This is nonfiction, and there is a movie of this. I actually haven't heard a ton about the movie or anything, so I can't tell you who's in it or anything or when it came out. But it came out before, I'm gonna say like 2019, because I think that is when I got this book, and it says on there. So this is in 1925. There's a legendary British explorer Percy Fawcett. So there has only, it's like been this rumor that there is a lost civilization or city that is in the middle of the Amazon, and I guess Percy Fawcett is very obsessed with trying to find it, and it's how one man's obsession can turn deadly in the Amazon. And the Amazon is something that very much fascinates me. There's like frontier in any country fascinates me. We can really look at areas like Siberia and Russia, or just the outback in Australia, because there's not a lot of people there, and it's not modernized, I guess, like our cities and all today, and they're living completely different lives than we're living. They don't have modern technology. There's these, I can't remember the name, and I probably won't pronounce it right anyway. It's south of India and Sri Lanka, and it's these people who have been untouched by like civilization forever, and they, like, when helicopters fly by, they shoot arrows at them and all this stuff, not knowing what that is. And that's crazy to me that there's still people who are living like it's the Stone Age. Maybe that's for the better to live like that versus how we live today, because it's humanity in its purest form. But also at the same time, I think we need to grow and evolve. Not saying that they haven't and that we are superior to them, because I don't know. Maybe this book will help me find out about that. Okay, so our next one is a graphic novel, and this is New X-Men by Grant Morrison. And I have no idea if this is where I should start with X-Men or anything, but from Googling whenever I got this, it said this is where you should start. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what it's about or anything. 16 million mutants dead, and that was just the beginning, is the first line. So basically, if Sophie Turner's character, can't remember the name because I haven't seen any of the movies, I only read the comics. If she's in it, I'll support it. So then we have a thriller, and this is The Silence of the Six, the first Sauce, SOS thriller by E.C. Myers. So basically, this guy's best friend commits suicide after hacking into a thing and live streaming it. So everybody saw it happen, and like, if you're gonna do that, please don't do it on the screen. I feel bad saying that, but don't, because that freaks me out, and it freaks a lot of people out. So they are I forgot, Max's entire world is upended. He suddenly finds himself the target of a corporate government witch hunt because they're hackers and all of that. So the government is going after these hackers, and they have virtual identities versus their real life identities, so kind of like anonymous. And hackers is something that I think is very interesting, because I'm not that smart to be able to do something like that, and I don't really have any desire to do anything like that. But it's just so fascinating how things can change, how events can change because of hackers. It's just something that fascinates me. So then we have a fantasy novel, and that is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is a Slavic Russian inspired fantasy, and a lot of her books I know are retellings of fairy tales. I'm not sure which one this is. So every 10 years, this wizard demands a woman from the village to be sacrificed to him, be given to him alive, not dead. And so he can keep controlling the village and keeping them alive. Basically, they have to give one woman without question to him every 10 years. So this just seems like such a basic fantasy, that I'm saying that is a good thing, that this is like fantasy at its core, and because it's very like fairy tale-esque and all of that. So the last book is the Star-Crossed Sisters of Tuscany. This was on my romance list, even though a lot of women's literature, I don't think that is an appropriate word, but that's what it's called, that gets added into the romance list on Goodreads. So this is about two sisters. They travel, their family has had a curse on them for 200 years that the second born sister, I think it's the second born, will never fall in love. So these two sisters are going back to Italy, where that curse started, to end the curse once and for all. And so Italy is one of my favorite places, so I try to read books that are set there because it's just a special place to me and a setting that I enjoy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. I will have reviews for all these books on Goodreads this month, so not on my blog, on Goodreads, which is just my name, Elizabeth Rains. If you guys would like to add me on there, I add everyone back, so like, don't worry about that. But I will see you guys next week at Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a brand new video. Bye!